All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Space Cadet here. We're going to be taking a look at the charts. We're going to be looking at MARA, SOS, which has done a crazy pump here in the after hours, and then also RIOT and Argo blockchain. So we're going to be looking at these four charts, seeing what's our next move, and if things are looking bad or good. And spoiler alert, it's looking still pretty good. Okay, just a slight pullback today, which was expected since we look at this. We made a huge run right here from here all the way to here. This is just MARA, for example, but RIOT also has the same sort of dynamic going on. Although RIOT is still just yet breaking out, so we might see that crazy move tomorrow. But for right now, MARA is looking pretty healthy here. If we look at the fib extension levels, I drew this about 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. So I drew this 2 or 3 days ago, so I have not moved it since, and it is acting accordingly. So as you can see here, we see MARA coming up, testing this one level here at $51, getting a slight rejection, finding support here at the $46 mark. It is also finding support right here, and this is just on the 1 hour chart. So if we also look at the 4 hour chart, it looks a little bit better also. So if we look here, so according to the Fibonacci extension tool, it is looking great. We're having the stair-step pattern. Let's take a look at the EMA ribbon. So for the EMA ribbon too, we're finding support here at the $51 mark. So we're finding support here at this key resistance level and support level, and we're finding support from the EMA ribbon. And this is on the 2 hour. On the 1 hour, it's still on top of it. It's kind of going in it right now, but it's still looking good. As long as we don't break this EMA ribbon and we don't flip it over, it's still looking macro bullish. And on the 2 hour, same thing. 3 hour, 4 hour is still a little bit overextended. We might get another retest once we come back up here. The EMA might come back up and to meet us towards a retracement, maybe around this $57 mark, because this was a local high that we had yesterday. So we might see a retest of that right now. So let me just actually put that line in there right now, just so we don't forget. And also if we look at our fib retracement tool, so we start here at the bottom, and then we move all the way up. We're still finding that key support here around the $50 mark. Just in case we dip a little bit over or a little bit under here in the pre-market tomorrow, we're going to have a nice push up towards this $64 mark. Now let's take a look at RIOT here, and what's happening now actually is RIOT is looking like it's breaking out. Let me just zoom in a little bit so we can look here, right here where we see. All right, so yeah, so we saw a couple 4 hours consolidating nicely over this diagonal resistance we have here, and finding support on this diagonal resistance, and also finding support on the EMA ribbon too. So looking good for RIOT. Once we retest this $56 resistance, turn it into support, we can see within the next week or two, past this golden pocket right here, we're going to be able to see RIOT reach its target breakout from this symmetrical triangle that's been consolidating here since the middle of February. So it's a big symmetrical triangle. Remember, the bigger the pattern, the more macro the pattern, the bigger the breakout as well. So we can see RIOT reaching its price target here of $100. So maybe take profit a little bit before that, because once it hits $100, it's going to probably drop down quickly, probably reaching support here at this $93 mark at the 1.618. And then also another take profit too could be at the $106.50 level area. So we don't have that many resistances just yet. Let me also add right here at this local high here at around $83. So be on the lookout for these support and resistances in the next couple days too. Also, if you can look here on the EMA ribbon, it flipped bearish, and now it's actually going back and starting to flip bullish now. So that is also a really bullish indicator as well, because we've seen that time and time again, that once it flips bullish, we get a retest on that EMA ribbon, and then we see a huge pump like this. Also right here, flipped over on the EMA ribbon, retested it, huge pump where we don't even see it touch the EMA ribbon until we get this nice drop right here. So be on the lookout for that. So it's looking pretty bullish for both Mara and Riot. So we can expect some big gains soon. All right, why don't we take a look at SOS now, because we saw some crazy price action happening in the after hours. So, which is right here, if we can see that. So we have a nice big green wick right there, and it looks like it's breaking out to the upside. So we were formed this giant descending triangle. So we have this giant descending diagonal resistance along with this support going horizontally. So it's typically a bearish pattern like I talked about in my previous videos, but now we can see it actually breaking up to the upside. So what I would like to see from this is I would like to see a retest, then a bounce coming up here, because once it does that, it is actually creating a nice macro W pattern, which is a very bullish pattern. So if we see here, we have right here, this part of the W, right? And if we get price action up to here, breaking this neckline, which is right here at the $8.68 mark, once we break that neckline, find some support here, we can make a giant move towards the upside, coming back here towards the $16 mark. The actual move would be somewhere, if we take right here, it'd be somewhere around the region of $13. So a huge move. And we also can see here on the RSI that the RSI is very oversold. If you look right here, and right where we're going at the end of this RSI index, we saw it just shoot up here. So be prepared for that. If we see this RSI coming towards the top part, it may be looking like it might need to consolidate and correct a bit. But other than that, all we need is just some more volume, because obviously it was after hours. There wasn't that much volume to begin with. But once we see a nice confirming candle, like a big candle like this one right here, where we see a lot of volume, a lot of buy volume, we can see this moon. So price target for now, $8.80. Once we break that target, find it as support, break this neckline, we can see a price target of about $13. All right, and this could take maybe by the end of this week, by the end of that next week. All right, but that's it for SOS. Why don't we look at Argo blockchain next? All right, last but not least, let's look at Argo blockchain. This is an OTC market, a Bitcoin miner, so it's not on your regular exchanges like the NASDAQ. So let's take a look at this right now, because this is some pretty interesting stuff right here. We see that it's actually printing out this descending wedge right here. So it's a descending wedge, and usually descending wedge patterns, their price target is actually the top of the wedge. So if it were to break out right here, its price target would be exactly where it started, which would be right around $4.63. And let's see where else we can take it. So we see some resistance happening right here, but if we can see that it breaks over this resistance, retest this resistance as support, this descending diagonal resistance, then we can see it shoot back up here to its previous all-time highs at $4.60. And why don't we take a look at some other areas where it can go, potential price targets that we can take profit of. And right now it's actually keeping intact this nice diagonal uptrend, so it's looking still pretty bullish, right? We have higher lows, and then we have higher highs. So right now, if this descending wedge pattern does break out, we do see a price target at $4.60. All right, and then why don't we use our Fibonacci retracement tool? Let's see where we can draw this also. All right, so we see some resistance here in the golden pocket. We're always going to see resistance if we're coming up into the golden pocket. We have to break through it and create it into support. So we might see some resistance here at the $3.88 mark, but once it breaks over that, uses it as support like this, we can see a potential price target here of $5.94, and also a potential target of $8.04. So right around $8. So those are our two take profits from. Let's see here. Let's also look at the EMA ribbon and see how that's looking. Okay, let's zoom in here. Okay, so we see it during this bull run, the last Bitcoin bull run, we saw it use this as support. It dipped down. It didn't really break the EMA ribbon, which I'm pretty surprised. So it's not looking that bad after that big dump when Bitcoin dumped from 57K back in February. We did see it break the EMA ribbon, so it did flip bearish here with a low here last week, but now it has since regained on top of the EMA ribbon and used it as support. So this is looking very good. And as you can see here, it's in a tight consolidation because it's using this EMA ribbon as support, and it's also being pushed down by this diagonal resistance. So it is just squeezing in here, waiting to break out. If this breaks out, we're looking at a price target of $3.88 for that golden pocket ratio right here, using it, flipping it as support, and then moving on towards our price targets that I mentioned before of $5.94 and $8.04. All right, that is it for this quick video. I just want to make a quick update because I know a lot of people were asking me, they were kind of worried because Mara took a dip today, but as you know, if things go up for a while, they have to come down, and Mara actually did a nice consolidation on the top of the Fibonacci retracement. So it is looking still very bullish. It is resting on the EMA. Tomorrow can be a really good day if Bitcoin breaks out. But either way, if Bitcoin goes sideways, I don't see Mara taking too much of a dive tomorrow or this week. So nobody really knows what's going to happen. But according to the TA and the charts, it is still looking very good. So nothing to worry about there. SOS2, looking at that giant breakout. Once we look at those price targets, we can expect a giant move up towards all-time highs or previous local highs. And that is it. If you enjoyed and appreciated my content, hit the like and subscribe button. Follow me for more content. I'm going to be posting as much videos as I can. I'm actually going to put out an altcoin video just here in a minute. I just want to make this update first for all the stock miners because today was a crazy day in the markets and we saw just crazy things. We saw SOS break out in the after hours. We saw Mara take a little dip. RIOT still kind of consolidating. But these are all poised to make a very great move in the next coming days, if not weeks. So I know April's going to be a very bullish month for Bitcoin, and these miners will follow.